Welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca. I am so glad that you're here today. We're going to be making 3 cards together, so thank you for joining me. If you are new to my channel, welcome. You can go over to my website, sunnydaystamping.com, to get all the measurements for any project I have here, so that you can make them at home. You can also purchase the supplies from there also. Now, I try to fill my videos with little tips along the way, and so today you'll get some stamping tips, some punching tips, and even how to turn a Christmas stamp set into something you can use for every day, which really adds value to your purchase, which I'm all about. I'm all about getting my best deal. So, one thing I wanted to mention, I have a shopper rewards program. So when you purchase from me and use my host code, which you can find at the top of my website, for every $50 you spend, you get a point, and for when you earn 5 points, you get to pick out a stamp set of your choice. I'll purchase it for you and send it to you. So check that out on my website. There's a link down below. All right, let's get going. So for all 3 cards that we're going to make today, we're going to be using the Christmas Scotty stamp set, but we're not going to be making Christmas cards. And I picked this set out purposely because I think it's adorable. It's going to make really quick Christmas cards, but you can use it for other purposes just by pairing it with a stamp set that has different sentiments. Now, you guys know I love this go-to greetings because it's got just a note, thank you, thinking of you, and happy birthday. But you can also look at your other stamp sets and pick the sentiments out of there and put it with a Christmas set using different colors. I did the same idea earlier a couple weeks ago where I took a Christmas set but paired it with the go-to greetings and use some really funky colors. This does not look like a Christmas card. So just like that, you have added value because you can use your Christmas sets at other times of the year. So we're going to start by stamping a background. And what we're going to do is take an element out of the stamp set and stamp it repeatedly at a diagonal. And this will create a really interesting background for a focal point to be put onto. Now this piece of paper is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and we're going to frame it with some early espresso at 5 1/4 by 4. But you can find all those measurements over on my website, or if you sign up for my email, you'll be getting this in your email Friday morning. It's got some written instructions and a list of all the supplies that I used. I almost forgot to show you our color palette for today. I just am like in love with all these colors together. I've used them in several projects before, so you might already have these at home. Now for all my stamping today, I'm actually going to stamp on this Stamp and Pierce mat. It's just a really dense foam, and it'll give me a better impression of my images. So if you're having trouble with your images not coming out as like you like, try putting them on a piece of foam like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is stamp at a diagonal from left to right like this. And we want our images kind of coming off the paper, but also working their way up the paper. We can overlap them. There, that's our first stamped layer. All right, for our second card, we're going to be making a birthday card, and I'm going to take these little images here. They actually create a present, but instead of using Christmas colors, I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, and Daffodil Delight, and we're just going to, do you see this kind of diagonal shape I'm making with my images here? Now I'm going to put this in fast motion, but before I do that, I would just want to show you how these images go together. So the equal sign, but it's these 2 lines with this little ribbon makes that little present. Okay, for our third card, we're going to take this little ribbon stamp and kind of do the same thing, just creating kind of a diagonal work up our paper. Okay, now we're going to stamp 3 sentiments, and we're using the go-to greetings because my other stamp set has only Christmas in it. And we're just going to stamp these on a scrap piece of paper and cut them down with our trimmer. Now I don't want to cut these down too thinly because it's actually going to create a base for my focal point. So I'm just kind of leaving a kind of good size border around it. And these are I forgot to say, these are all stamped in early espresso. So you can see I cut it a little too short on that side, so I'm just going to fix it by flipping that over and trimming it on that edge. And there you go. That is such an easy way to do it. I got ink all over me. Now it's time to stamp our puppies. We're going to use early espresso, and there is the punch cuts out one puppy. So make sure you have the puppy that gets punched out and put that on a block. Now it's real important to ink this up really well. This is not going to create a really dark image on the puppy. If you want that, you'd have to probably use a stamparatus where you could stamp it multiple times. But I honestly like the different coloration because puppies aren't all one solid color. Now, I could have tried to stamp my bow right there, but oh, that's too much work. So I got another idea for you. Okay, so we are going to create the focal point for this card. This will be our first card, and we're going to give this little puppy a bow. So what we're going to do is ink it up first. I'm using Flirty Flamingo ink and cardstock, and I'm just going to stamp right on here. And then I'm going to just line that up and just punch out that bow. So instead of trying to stamp it exactly where, I just use a scrap piece and punch it out afterwards. Now we'll just put a touch of glue on here to attach that to our little puppy. And then we're going to put some glue on his feet. Come on, glue. Oh, I'm running low on this glue. Oh, there we go. Oh no, now I squished too much. Oh, and then I rotated the ribbon and it's covering his eyeball. Come here. There we go. All right, now we're going to center that kind of right in there. And you can see how that creates a really nice focal point to go on our card. We're just going to set this out of the way so that we can make something pretty for the inside also. Now, before we attach this all together, we're actually going to stamp something for the inside of our card. And I grabbed out of this stamp set a different dog with the collar and a bow to go on it. And also, I liked this sentiment here, "You're always loved." That's not Christmassy, so I'm using it. So we're going to stamp the puppy in early espresso. Ooh, I can tell that he did not take up that ink very well, so I'm going to get more ink. And I'm really going to, let's see, we'll have him do like this. No, I want to see his tail. Okay, we'll go like this. Okay, and then we want to just hold it there for a couple seconds and let that ink soak into your paper. Now we'll take a little ribbon because we're going to use the same elements from the card, right? Pop that little bow on there and let's do the same thing to our envelope. You know, less is more sometimes. I like it just like that. All right, I gotta put all this, ink away. I am like a total mess. I'm gonna get it everywhere. So let's move that out of the way and let's bring our card pieces back in and attach them together. So underneath your front of your card and the inside, we're gonna layer it with some early espresso. Holy wow, I just looked at my camera and it is a very confusing picture. Let me move some of this mess out of here. There we go. All right, now pop this on here. Now it's time to just pop this up with dimensionals. Now you could add some other bling, but you know what? Sometimes I just really love simple cards. And look what you can do with just a little bit of paper and pop these up with foam. All right, let's finish our other cards. All right, we've got our purple front. I put a little purple collar on there. Oh, wait, I don't want to do a purple collar. I forgot I had a great tip to show you. Check this out. Okay, so I got a punching tip for you and also another way to make this bow. Okay, so take this cool plaid. I mean, is that the best? I feel like this stamp set is worth just this plaid thing. And you're going to stamp on a little scrap. Well, you could use a bigger one, but for purposes of demonstration, I want to show you this super cool tip. So where is my punch? This might be a little difficult to get in here. See, this paper isn't long enough. So if that happens to you, grab a Post-it note and create some length for your punch. See, I can totally reach it. There we go. Okay, now we're going to glue this on and pop this on the front of this card real fast. There's one more thing I wanted to show you to make a focal point for this card. I took that plaid stamp, cut it out with my paper trimmer, and I'm going to glue this whole thing on here just to make a bigger focal point. Now put Stampin' Dimensionals all over the back of this puppy and stick it on there. I'm going to show you the inside of my card while I do this. There we go. Check that out with this one. Okay, now let's do the one with the presents. So to finish off this card, I really wanted it to be for a little boy or a guy. And so I'm not going to put a bow on this thing. I'm just going to put a little collar that matches the colors from here. And I chose a Coastal Cabana cardstock also. And there we go. We got 3 great cards using a Christmas stamp set, but just by changing the color and adding different sentiments, we get more value out of our Christmas stamp sets. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. You can also subscribe and get notifications for when my next video comes out. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.